All right. So good evening, everybody. You're welcome to this meeting. So as I was saying, what we want to discuss right today is the principle of which our tools work, the harmony scanner and the web analyzer that is now called the vibrator. We want to understand how they both work. All right. Why do you get trade calls on harmony scanner? And why do you get trade calls on the vibrator? That's the ECC. Okay, we want to understand that. So basically, the principle is called support and resistance, right? So let's quickly do an illustration. Please, I want you to understand what we are talking about tonight. I want you to understand this principle because it will, help your trade a whole lot. All right. So I hope you can see my white screen. All right, so you can see, this box. So let's say this is you inside this box. Just look at, all right. Sorry, my illustration might be poor, but just understand what I'm trying to achieve. Okay. Yeah. So this is you, right? And where are you at the moment? Where are you right now? You are standing on the support, right? You are standing on a support. So if the support is not there, you will not be standing. So right now, as you're listening to me, you are on a support, right? Now, that's the basic principle in trading. You need to understand this because if you understand it's going to change your trading game. You know, you will know where, the right place to put your stop loss and some basic things. All right. Now, the only realistic thing for you to do when you are at a support or at a floor is to jump. You cannot go in to the floor, right? The only realistic thing for you to do is to jump. And by the time you jump, what are you going to see again? You're going to see a resistance. All right. That's what is stopping you, impeding your movement from going forward. That's the resistance. Do you understand that principle now? Now, when you are the support, the only realistic thing for you to do is to do what is to jump. And in trading, you know when something is going up, when price is going up, what is it called? It's called buying. When price is going up, it's called buying. So for a trade, the only realistic thing for, a trade pair to do when it's at a support is to buy. And when it's at a resistance, there is red zone. The only realistic thing that the trade should do is to what? Is to come down, is to sell. So that's the basic principle of trading. Now, it is the difficult part is how to identify this support and how to identify this resistance. Because if you cannot identify support, that means you won't know the right time to buy. And if you can't understand resistance, you don't know how to, locate resistance. That means you won't know the right point to sell. Do you understand? And you need that. You need to understand that. Now, the principle of harmonic scanner is that harmonic scanner gives us support and resistance. That green line, those lines that you are seeing, TP1, TP2, TP3, those lines are zones. as support and resistance zone. All right. And that makes the job, quite easy for all of us. All right. But what I want to do today is that I want to go through a plain chart, so that you will understand how I do this myself sometimes. All right. Is also necessary because that will help you to understand the money scanner properly. All right. So let me go to my main chart right now. Okay. So I use, sometimes I use MetaTrader 4, sometimes I use TradingView. To access TradingView, all you have to do is go to tradingview.com and I click on charts. So let's see. So for instance, I'm going to give you probably somebody should tell me what trade pair should I analyze. I'm going to analyze a lot of trade pairs today so that you will understand how support and resistance work. So I need the first person to tell me what trade pair do you want me to look at now? The first person. I'm going to look at the whole lot so that you will understand. But the first one, Euro USD. Okay. So I'm going to type in Euro USD here. Now, we're going to do this together and you're going to understand how it works. Now, you can see the different time frames. The 1, 5, 15, 30, you're also going to see that on your MetaTrader 4. So what I'm doing now, you can do that on your MetaTrader 4, right? So the first thing, the first time frame I normally go to check is my daily time frame to know the overall movement. Look at my daily time frame. Now, let me clear. Sorry, I'm getting some interference. I'm trying to close some stuff. All right, so look at, this is Euro USD on a daily time frame. Now, let's identify all these things ourselves, all these zones ourselves. All right, look at when the chart, when the candle was going to this side, upside, at this point, there was a reversal. It reversed back. So it means that this place is actually what? A resistance. This place is actually a resistance. Do you understand? This thing is not difficult. I just need you to understand how it works. This is another resistance. Just look at it, goes to this point and retraced, another resistance. All right, it got to this point again and what? Bounced back, another resistance. It got to this point again. What happened? It got to this point again. What happened? All right, now what you are trying to identify in any trade setup like this are, you're looking for what is the unique thing that, that all these points, all these resistance have. What is that point that is, joining all of them together? All right, let's move to this point. Look at this, another what? Resistance. This is another resistance. This is another resistance. This is another resistance. So do you understand what I mean by resistance now? We got to the point and reversed. They couldn't continue. That means there's a resistance at that zone. So it means that in the future, if this trade goes to this point, to this resistance, let me change this color to blue. It means that in the future, if this trade gets to this ceiling again, this point again, it is very, very likely that it's going to reverse again, because resistance will always be resistance. A ceiling above your head will always be a ceiling above your head. It is very possible that when this trade comes to this point again, this line, this resistance line is going to reverse. It's possible that it gets to this point and reverse. Possible it gets to this point and reverse. Possible it gets back to this point and reverse. Do you understand resistance now? Now, what do you think? Do you think that there is a connecting factor between all these resistance line, all this resistance zone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Do you think there's a connecting factor? This is how you see, if you want to, understand, see, out of all the classes I've done with you guys in the past, this is one of the most important ones. This is one because it helps your trading. It's the center of everything. All right. Now, what do you think is the connecting factor? Yeah, somebody got it. It said trend line. Let me show you why. Forex, the chart that you're looking at, it works with lines and patterns. Lines and patterns. You have to understand, the connecting pattern. So if you look at this, if you draw a line from here, and then can you see at this point to reverse? Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? Let me change this to so that it won't conflict with the colors. Can you see that there is like a line, probably an invisible line here, that whenever it gets to this point, it reverses. Whenever it gets to this point, it reverses. So next time, let's assume that you've not seen all these parts. Let's assume that you've not seen all this part, right? Let's assume. Trying to, okay, good. Let me zoom it a bit. Let's assume that this part in box, you've not seen it. Now, a trade is at this point when you saw it. When would be the right time for you to sell? Think about it yourself. The right time for you to sell will be that you have to wait until it gets back to this trend line. Can you see how it works with patterns? And what happened when it got back to that trend line? Another drawdown, came down to sell. If you miss that opportunity, what are you going to wait for again? Get back to the trend line. When you get back to the trend line, you are not just going to sell. You want to see a sign that is going to sell because it's possible for it to break. You want to see a sign. And how will that sign come? It comes with candle formation. It comes with candle formation. That's when you will know that this thing is ready. All right. So you might need to understand, candles, the different types of candles. You might need to do research on that yourself. There's a book on that. I think it's ABC of Trade or something. All right. Now, if the trader started moving, what are you going to do again? You have to wait for it to get back to this line. Then you see the sign that is ready to come back down, then you sell. All right. So that's how it works. That's basically how it works. So what have you seen now? What did you just see? So now this line now is serving as a resistance line. A resistance line doesn't have to be straight. Listen, a resistance line doesn't have to be straight like this. All right. This is like a penthouse. You know how a penthouse looks. All right. So it's still a resistance line, but here we call it trend line, but it's still a resistance. The same thing here. Let's go here. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So the same thing here. Can you see? Support. So that means that Euro USD has been rallying around this zone. This is a zone. It's called a zone that's been rallying around that zone. Up, down, up, down. So literally, if you understand support and resistance, that means what? You can be selling. It gets to this point, you see a sign that is ready to go up, buy. It gets to this point, you see a sign that is ready to sell, you sell. It gets to this point, you see a sign. Note, I'm saying a sign. You don't just say that it has gotten to this zone and then look at this, for instance. It has broken the zone. You can't just pick a sell. You have to wait for that sign. So obviously the sign, probably I'm going to explain, some of those signs. All right. And then you can literally be buying and selling Euro USD if you understand support and resistance. Now that it has broken, let me show you something. This is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, before it got to this point, look at this. This was a trend line as well. Look at, let me change the color of this one. Sorry. Okay. Change it to blue. Okay. Now, look at, before this, forget about this red line. Focus on this blue line. Now, before this red zone, this trade zone, look at, we saw something similar in the blue. Up, down. At this down, you saw a sign that is going to buy, you bought, right? You saw a sign that is going to sell, you sold. You saw a sign that is going to buy, you bought. You saw a sign that is going to sell, you sold. And then it broke this line. When it broke this line, what started happening? When it broke this line, what happened? That means that it has changed direction from an uptrend. Now, how do you know an uptrend? How do you know a downtrend? The way you know an uptrend is by seeing what is called the higher highs and higher lows. Higher highs, higher low. This is a high. Look at this. This is a high. This part, let me show you. This part is a high because it's at high. This part is a low, right? This part is an higher high, HH. Those parts is an higher low. This one is another higher high. But now this part did not give us higher low. It has broken that. So it means that that is the end of the uptrend. Another trend has started. So what did you see? It broke the line, and what next? It went, see, in trading, let me quickly do something. Let me quickly go to my whiteboard. Look at, let me quickly explain something to you. If this is a resistance, and if this is a support, Christopher Derrick's strategy is focused more on what is called a break and retest. What do I mean by break and retest? Look at it well. Let me explain what it means. Just pay attention. If a trade starts going, respect this point, all right, comes back, support, resistance, support. By the time it breaks, let's say it breaks this point, let's say it breaks this point, what are you expecting to see next? What are you expecting to see next? Look at it. The way I do explain this thing, you are a woman, you are a lady, you just got married, all right? Now, before you got married, you've been between your father, support, and your mother, resistance. Father, mother, something like that. You've been inside this house. This is your house. Let's say this zone, this red place, this boxed mark is your house, all right? Now, by the time you got married, what happened? You broke out of that house. This is you right now. You've broken out of that house. But on your wedding day, what will you do? You have to come and pay your final tributes, let's put it that way, to say, Mommy, Daddy, thank you very much for everything you've done. In Forex, that is called retests. That is called retest. That means that you are coming back, though you've broken out, but you are coming back. You are not coming back fully. You are just coming back to this line, this last line, to say thank you very much. And what happened next? You move. That is what is called a break and retest in Forex. This broke, then this came to retest where it was coming from. The same thing happens if it's going, the same thing happens if it's going to drop. It's dropping and it breaks this support zone. What will happen next? It's going to retest where it has been coming from. Retest here. Before what will happen? Boom. Before it breaks out fully. Do you understand that simple illustration? That is basically how Forex works. And if it's going to be a trend line on, look at the same thing. If it's going to be a trend line, let's do it this way. It could be anyhow, but let's do it this way. What will happen? What will happen? So if the trade starts going this way, going this way, going this way, going this way, by the time it breaks the zone, what's going to happen? Thank you very much for your time at this zone. Comes to respect this place. And then what will happen? Boom, it can go. And if it's going to be down, it's going to break and will come back to say, thank you very much for your time. And then boom, down. So whenever a trade breaks out, don't rush to, let's say it's going on buy, don't rush to buy. Wait for it to come back down before you buy. Whenever a trade breaks out from a support zone, don't rush because it will come back. And if it doesn't come back, that means you've missed it. Just leave it. But 80% of times or 85% of the time, it will come back to respect where it's coming from. And then you can now enter a buy. That's a good confirmation for a buy. I mean, for a sell because it's going down. Then you enter your sell here and then boom, sell. This is the simple illustration of trade. Now let's go now to the charts. Let me show you, this. Look at this. Look at this. What did you see here? When it broke into this line, it came to respect this line and then boom, look at this. Down, up, down, up, down. It broke. What just happened now? Retest. Did you see that? It dropped, boom. Let me make this another color. It dropped, boom. And what happened next? Came to respect where it has been coming from. That's the line. And what will happen next? You can now continue the sell. It's as simple as that. So if you pick the sell from this point, for instance, this point, this retest point, it will never touch your stop loss. Look at, it came down. It went back. Even this point that it went back, it still didn't come back to the zone where you started that sell from. Then it went back down again. It still did not come back to touch that zone. Now, at those points, you've already drawn another line. You've drawn another line. You can see. So if you had picked a sell from, it broke and retested at this point. If you had picked a sell from there, what do you think would have happened from this point to this point? That's around 350 or 60 pips. Now, look at what has just happened. It has broken this zone again. Excuse me. What are you expecting to see now? I want everybody to respond. Just type in your response. It has broken this zone. What are you expecting to see now? What are your expectations now based on what I just explained? Retest, 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 retest. Simple. Retest, retest. Simple. So what are you expecting to see now? It has broken. So I'm expecting to see a reversal to say thank you. Sometimes that reversal can even extend a bit. Don't worry. Sometimes the reversal can even come down, to this same line to come and, say thank you again to the support, to this support. But most of the time, it will end here. So that is why sometimes if you want to pick the trade from here, your stop loss should be below this line, because we are not expecting it to, to go below this line. It can't go below this line. It can't. It can't. But if you take the trade from here, from year to year is about 80 pips. So if you are taking it from here, your stop loss is about 113 pips. So you have to know the kind of lot size to use. All right. But the expectation now is that this trade will go up. That's the expectation. This trade, Euro USD, I am only looking for a buy this week for Euro USD. I am only looking for a buy. Now, I am not saying that based on guess. Forex is not guess. I am saying that based on what I can see. All right. Now, if I'm going to buy, where will be my first take profit? You should know. It's simple. Why? Why did I say simple? This is this line. Look at. This is a resistance zone. This is a resistance because straight got there and reversed. All right. So that means that I'm looking at the TP here. First, if it breaks this resistance line, because this is a resistance line, where next? This is another resistance because it reversed. If it breaks this point, you can buy again from here to here. If it breaks this point again, you enter again. Boom. From here to here. If it breaks again, what happens next? From here to here. Boom. That's all. It's as simple as that. It has already almost gotten to this resistance already. So if Euro, I'm looking forward to see Euro USD drop on Monday, tomorrow, all right, to drop to retest this zone. So some people can take a short sell, but I'm not going to sell because in Forex, it's better for you to follow the trend. It's always better, follow the trend. All right, the trend is saying it's a buy trend because it has broken this sell zone. This is sell zone, this red line is a sell zone. It has broken it. Now, Euro USD is a buy trend. All right, so if it comes down, all right, briefly for, let's say, how many pips now? About 50, 60 pips. If it comes down and it shows me a sign of a buy, all right, I'm going to buy. I'm going to take my first profit here. So from here to here, that's about 90 pips. If I see a candle that breaks it again, what am I going to do? I'm going to take it again to this point, 170 pips. I'm going to keep shifting my stop loss if I don't want to close. If I see another candle that breaks, what next? I'm going to take it to this point again, 259 pips. Ultimately, we are looking at over 400 pips. Over 400 pips. Now, the fact that it's going to go on by, it doesn't mean that it will not, there won't be short sales in between. So you can see another, by the time you keep, this thing starts moving out, you can see something like this. Let me show you. Forex can be interesting. So you can see something that looks like this again. Look at, let me show you. You can see something that looks like this again. To that buy, then you will see, something like this, this, then this, something like that can happen again. And then if that happens, what are you looking forward to see again? Break of structure. If it breaks again, this structure, what just happened? Uptrend is done. We are done with uptrend. That's how it happens. That's how it works. And sometimes it might not even do you like that. It might just, something can just happen and then it will just go straight without even giving you all these patterns. It will just go straight without giving you a zone. All right. So something can just happen and then boom, almost straight. It happens. All right. So this is a daily time frame. This is a daily time frame. So can you see how I just analyzed this? So we are expecting Euro USD to be on an uptrend next week. But before that uptrend, we are expecting a little drop down, a little sell for it to retest that zone it has been coming from, and then continue moving up. All right. So basically, that's how Forex works. And this is a major resistance. This point is a major resistance. Why? At that point, there was a reversal. See, that's happened like 3 times. It got here, reversed, got here, reversed, got here, reversed. So in future, if it gets to this level again, this major resistance zone, what do you think will happen again? It can also reverse. So that means even if you keep buying, and it keeps going up, this is at this point you need to mellow down and stop buying and see what will happen next. If it's going to break or going to drop. Simple. Simple. That's how it works. All right. Now that I've explained Euro USD, any questions so far before I move to the next? Any questions so far? Now, most of the time, when Harmonic Scanner calls a trade, just look at when Harmonic Scanner calls a trade, most of the time it calls a pullback trade. A pullback trade. So for instance, look at this. When this trade was coming down, you can see that is a downtrend, right? It's a downtrend. Now, Harmonic Scanner will usually call the buy. When it sees that, it has gotten to this point, Harmonic Scanner will call it buy. When it sees that it has gotten to the point, Harmonic Scanner will call it buy. So most times, Harmonic Scanner calls counter trend trade. All right. Most times, 70% of the time, Harmonic Scanner calls counter trend trade. That is why most times we go for short pips. We only go for maybe 10, 15, 20. We don't go for too much pips because most times it calls a counter trend trade. So whenever an Harmonic Scanner calls a trade, it will give you an idea that, okay, let me even check out this trade. If Harmonic Scanner calls a buy for you, it gives you an idea that let me check out this trade. There might be a long-term sell here. Let me take the buy, but after the buy, there might be a sell waiting for me here. So to give you an opportunity to check out your chart yourself and draw patterns. Now you need to feed your eyes. You need to train your eyes to see these patterns. If you don't train your eyes, you won't see. Everything will just look like a chart to you. It will just look anyhow. You won't even understand it. So you need to train your eyes to focus on what is important. All right. There are no settings for this. This is just, a pure open chart, the way you see it on your MT4. So you can use your MetaTrader 4 to do this. Look at this is my MetaTrader 4. Let me show you. So this is my MetaTrader 4, for instance. Okay. So the same Euro USD, I can show you. This Euro USD, my MetaTrader 4. Okay. So I could have done exactly the same thing there. So this is daily time frame. Okay. So it depends on your preference. Look at that's the same thing. So if you don't have MetaTrader 4 on your system, all you have to do is to go on your broker's page. A lot of us use Hot Forex. Go to Hot Forex page, click on the download. All right, you will see where you can download the MT4 for Windows, MT4 for Apple, whatever. And then you download the one that is needed, that you need. So you can see it's the same. It works, exactly the same. All right, but sometimes I just like the trading view because it gives me
You can select your color. What you are seeing on TradingView, I can change it here. You just do your settings. All right, I'm using red and green here. I'm using black and white on TradingView. I can decide to use red and green also on TradingView. Put black background, whatever you want. It's just a setting, just your setting. That's all. All right. So if I click here, if I right click on my MetaTrader 4 and click on properties, you can see where I can change background, gray, foreground, black, grid, gray, bar up, black, bar down, black, bull candle, dark green, bear candle, red. That's where you change. You don't have to use my color. Use what you will understand. Even if your buy should be black and your sell should be black, that's what you will understand. Now use whatever you will understand. That's the same thing with TradingView. All right. Yes, definitely. I'm actually going to H4 right now. Now that we have done daily, we already understand, the overall trend. Now let's go to 4 hours. Somebody should drop the next chart that the next trade that I should look at. Drop it. We're going to do all together. So you can see that on 4 hours, it's still the same thing. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So now 4 hours will help you with a more precise, entry. Even 1 hour or 15 minutes will give you more precise. You can see the candles well. All right, you can see the candles well. So you can see it's coming down right now. It's coming down. So we are expecting it to get to this zone, to this red line zone. All right, that's the expectation. Once it gets there, what are you going to do? Once you see a sign that it's going to buy. So what do I mean by sign? Look at this. Your sign, you can see your sign on 4 hours. All right, you can always check your sign on 4 hours. Okay, so for instance, look at this point where it got to this point. What was the sign? What did we see that we saw that it was going to come back? Number one, look at this candle, this buy candle, this last buy candle. All right, and then see a rejection candle immediately, the same size. All right, you saw a buy, you saw I can't remember the name they called it. If you know that name, tell me. The same size of candle. There's one that is called if it is bigger, it is called, I know, somebody should remind me that name, I beg. So now you are seeing the same size. Engulfing candle, if it is bigger, yeah. If it is a bigger candle, it's called engulfing. But this one is not engulfing like that, but it's the same size. So it shows you that there's a serious rejection. And then you can see also that around this area, it has been finding it difficult to go up. It goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So it's finding it difficult. So there has been some, if you look at this point, if you look at here and here, you see, this is another zone, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. All right. So it has been finding it difficult to move higher than this trend line. So it's a sign that it's coming down. And what happened? Boom, dropped. All right. Now let's look at coming back down. It got to this point. All right. What did you see? Engulfing candle. Sorry, I think my line is not very precise, but you can see that it's not very precise. The way it appears on daily is different from the way it appears on 4 hours sometimes. So you need to update. So look at it, got to this point. You now saw engulfing candle, a bigger buy candle that is bigger than the sell candle that you've seen before. The last sell candle, you now saw a bigger candle. So that means you have to wait for 4 hours to see what will happen. When you saw that big candle, big buy candle that engulfed, we call it engulfing because it's engulfing, it's swallowing the previous sell candle. What did you see? Boom, that's another sign. Then you can go and buy again. Now it has gotten to this point. How do you know that it will sell? Now, this one is called is it AMA, right? I think it's AMA. Okay. You can see that it got to this point, there was a rejection. Now it is having like a long handle, like you are holding an hammer. All right. And this one is also called evening sun, depending on whatever, you know, evening or morning sun or something like that. All right. Now you can see that like a rejection. It's another sign. Boom. All right. Now, even if you miss that, it went back up again. Look at, and shows you another engulfing candle, a sell candle that is bigger than this buy candle. If you miss this, it shows you that again. What will you do? Sell again. And what did you see? Boom. All right. So that's how it works. So you need to see how this thing works through the candle. That's when you will know if it's going to reject or not. All right. Now, let me go back to daily. Now you can see where the trade was when it reversed. Is at a low, very low level. Very, very low level. It's been a very long time Euro USD touched this level. Let me check. When was the last time? Let me go to my monthly time frame. Okay. When was the last time Euro USD got to this level that it is right now? It was here. That was 2017. 2017, that was when it got to that lowest level. All right. So I'm expecting a serious pull, a buy from Euro USD. All right. If you go on 1 hour, same thing. That will just help your entry to be more precise. Okay. So once it touches this red line at 1 hour, you can be looking for engulfing candle. Once it touches this red line, you can be looking for engulfing candle. That's a bigger buy candle. All right. Do you understand the red line that I mean? Yeah. Okay. Let me go to daily so that it can show properly. It has broken this zone. We are waiting for a retest. So once it gets to this red line, on 1 hour, you can wait for an engulfing candle to show up and then buy. It will likely not come back to that zone again. So just shim, shim, shim. You can keep buying as long as you want or be taking profit at these zones. All right. Good. Any questions so far? Is that very clear and very simple? Especially the new ones that are just joining us. Very clear and simple. Do you think this is cool? So sometimes if I share chat with you, you should understand how the chart works. Some people will see my chart and they'll still be asking, is it buy or sell? Imagine somebody asking me, seeing this chart, you're asking me, is it buy or sell? You should know this is not a sell thing. You should know it's a buy trade. Okay. I intentionally decided to show you something of the tools today. That is why I said when I was talking about this class that this class is going to be one of the most important class that you've ever attended, because this class is like a foundational class that will help you to understand how the tools work. All right. The tools are very needed because you really do not have to do all this chart yourself. This is how Price Trap works. If you use Price Trap, if you subscribe to Price Trap, this is how it works. That is why Christopher Derrick hardly lose a trade. Christopher Derrick hardly lose a trade. So if you want to follow Price Trap, you can. To get Price Trap, you will need how much in Naira now? You first need to subscribe to Good Cop. That's about 10K. Then Price Trap about 4 to 5K. So we are talking about 14 to 15K to add Price Trap to what you have. So probably I'm still going to do a training on Price Trap. Price Trap is basically this principle, support and resistance. But Christopher Derrick works majorly on 1 hour. He works majorly on 1 hour. So I'm going to, by the time we open another chart, I'm going to explain how Christopher Derrick does his own on 1 hour. Don't let me use this one to explain. So next chart, next pair, next person. Next person, any pair you want me to look at right now? GBP, JPY. Somebody said GBP AUD. Most of the GBPs they are like, but I got GBP JPY first. So let's look at GBP JPY. Today I'm going to do 5, and you are going to give me the 5. All right. Then that will end today's class. So let's look at GBP JPY. Interesting. So let me clear everything here. It was as a nice buy. I mean, nice buy last week. Okay, let's go. Okay, let me first go to, this is daily. Let me go to monthly and see something. Now look at monthly. Let's identify. Now this is a resistance zone. This thing is just not too difficult. So you can always go on monthly as well. This is a support. Why is it a support? It got to this point and reversed. So what is it telling you? It's telling you that in future, if it comes to this point again, it can reverse. So this is another support. It got to this point and reversed. What is it telling you? It's telling you that in future, if it gets to this point, it can also reverse. So what are you supposed to do? You can extend it so that you will see, so that you can see what will happen in the future, so that that line will help you to know in case it gets to that point in future. What are you going to do here also? Extend. What did you just see? Ladies and gentlemen, what did you just see? It got to that point in future. This one happened when? 2016. It happened 2016. In case you don't know, look at down here. You can see. Look at down here. October 2016. Can you see? And it's happening again October 2019. 3 years after it got to this point. And what did you see? Boom, reverse. So if you had seen this before now, you could have gotten 800 pips. It has moved about, in fact, it has moved already 900 pips so far, because this is a monthly time frame. I also missed this. I didn't see this. But if you'd seen this, you would have known. Now, it got to this point, right? And reversed. So this is like a resistance zone. So you extend it. So it means that in future, it is likely that it may reverse. I didn't say it will, it may. If you see a reversal, pattern, candle, then you can go for a reversal. But if you don't see a reversal candle, if it breaks, what will happen? So it means that, look at this. Look at this. Now that this GBP JPY buy has started, this is a monthly time frame. Take note. So we are expecting it to go to this point. Yeah? And what will happen is either it reverses, we are not sure. It's either it reverses or goes up, comes to say thank you. That's called retest. And then move up to locate what? The next resistance. And the next resistance on monthly time frame is this. To locate next resistance. Those are the two likely things that will happen on a monthly time frame. So for somebody that swing trade, for instance, somebody like Christopher Terry, that's IML CEO, is a swing trader. He doesn't have time to be trading every day. He just locates all these points, monthly or daily time frame, and just place a buy and forget it. You can forget it for a year, because look at this. From here to this point, how many months did it take? This is a monthly time frame. So it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It took 15 months for me to move from this point to this point. That got 2,778 pips. So a swing trader, some of these swing traders, long-term traders that don't really have time, but they are they are efficient. They know what they are doing. They leave it. Meanwhile, On a daily time frame, on a 1 hour time frame, you'll be seeing a lot of buy, sell, in between, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. But we're looking at the monthly. That's why it's looking as if everything is going on buy. There are sales here, as in when I mean sell, huge sales. Look at from here to here. This is like a 1,000 pip sale in between. But sometimes a swing trader doesn't care because he knows the final destination. But for us retail traders, we take the buy sell in between. This is a monthly time frame. We really do not trade monthly time frame, but monthly time frame will help you to see some of those points. So let's look at daily now. All right. So see daily, see where it started from, see where it's likely to go. Can you see? Okay. Can you see? So on a daily time frame now, let me zoom this. On a daily time frame now, there is, let me change the color. Look at, there is a support. I mean, there's a resistance here. This is a daily time frame resistance. All right. Here. Can you see? So that means it's likely going to come here. That's it. That's it. So we are expecting GBP, JPY to go for a long-term buy as well. You know, will it still sell in between? Yes, it can. Okay, but we're expecting a long-term buy. All right. Now, do you simply understand how this works? So let's go to 4 hours. Let's go to 4 hours. This is how you keep doing it. You know, you keep moving from big time frame to high time frame. Even if you don't understand, you know, support and resistance. Look at this trend line that I can see now. You need to be able to feed your eyes. Look at trend line. Look at trend line. Can you see? Boom, 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 boom. Now it broke. But this one did not come to retest to say thank you. It just went. That's why I said sometimes it doesn't do, I mean, it doesn't respect his elders. Trade sometimes we just go. But he could have done that on a 1 hour. Let's check 1 hour. Maybe he did that. Well, he did that on 1 hour, actually. Look at, but it was very short. Look at, he broke these two candles, 2 hours candle came to retest. Can you see it broke? This 2 hours candle came to retest. And then boom. So it still happened. Sometimes one candle can do that retest. Sometimes one candle can do that retest. It's as simple as that. Okay, so it still did that retest on a lower time frame. If you check 15 minutes, you will see it clearly that it actually did that retest. Look at it broke, retest, and then went up. All right. So if you had understood this, I mean, that means that you will have caught this GBP JPY. This only happened on Friday. You will have caught about 600 pips. 600 pips. And where do you think it's going to next? It has already broken this line. So where do you think it's going to next? All you have to do is to feed your eyes to understand all these things. Feed your eyes. We are looking for the next zone. Next zone, next reversal zone. So let's check daily time frame. Where did it reverse the last time? Okay, those are the zones that you'll be watching out for. You can see this is a point, this is a major point. This is another major point. This is a support point. Just be able to identify all these points. All right. So JPY is likely going to get here because this is a support line. You can see it got to this point, bounce, we got to this point, bounce, got to this point, bounce. So it's a support, a strong support point. To that support point might also become a resistance here. Do you understand? That's basically how the trade thing works. All right. Be able to feed your eyes to understand all of this. Look at this, for instance. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. What happened finally? It broke. It broke. this up down movement. Retested and what? Boom, down. All right. Support and resistance anytime now, anytime. You'll have done so. Most times people do their markups weekend to prepare for the week, to see what is going to happen. Now we already have an idea of what is going to happen next week. All right. Now we have an idea. Don't be surprised. I have seen something like that before. Don't be surprised if GBP JPY comes back down to still come and respect again. That's a long sell. And then still moves up. Don't be surprised. It happens. But before it will happen, you will see a sign, your candle sign. All right, on 4 hours, majorly, and 1 hour. All right. And what else can happen? It can also, this is a line. This is a resistance line. This is a resistance line. Can you see? Because this trade got to this point and reverse. So it can also reverse to this point, just to this point, not down, and then pull up. So GBP JPY, because we're expecting a buy, it doesn't mean that on Monday when market open, just buy. No, you will always wait for a retest. Now it has broken a resistance line. We are waiting for it to retest this point before it keeps going up. So we are expecting a drop of about 159 pips. That is much. So you can't afford to go and buy now. If you go and buy now and it retests, that means you'll be on a drawdown of 160 pips plus your spread. It could be 162 pips. Do you get that? You don't want to do that. The trade is gone. If you've missed the trade, accept your fate that you've missed it. Don't chase it. Because you know the overall direction doesn't mean that you won't lose. It happens to me. I will know that Euro USD is meant for a buy. I will enter the wrong time, then I will have serious drawdown. Sometimes I eventually close the trade in loss. Maybe by the time I close the trade, that is when it starts moving to the right direction. All right. So because you know that GBP JPY is an uptrend, doesn't mean that you should just buy anyhow. You will always wait for a pullback, a retest. If you look at this, I just drew this line to be long. Look at, you can see that this particular zone is a strong zone. It broke this zone when it was coming down. It broke this line. What happened? It retested that line and then came back, started coming down. Did you see what I'm saying? Can you see what I'm saying? See, it broke this line. What happened? It retested that line again. Then what next? Down. Now, for future sake, it has broken this line again. We're expecting a retest. And what next? To keep moving up. If he refused to retest this line, just leave it. It's better. There are other opportunities. All right. How many people are gaining value? How many people are gaining value? How many people are gaining value? If you're gaining value in this call, you're gaining value. What I'm teaching you took me so many months of constant practice, So don't joke with it. Don't joke with it. Now, the next person that sent me something sent me GBP AUD. So let's look at GBP AUD. GBP AUD and GBP JPY will definitely look alike because GBP was very, very strong when bullish last week. It went bullish, especially on Friday. So it will look alike. AUD. So yes, okay, let me clear everything that I've done here. So look at GBPAUD. This is interesting. On a daily time frame, I can see a trend. See that trend. See that trend. Good. I can see. Can you see? Cool. Cool. GBPAUD is at a zone that is very, very nice right now. It's at a zone that is very, very nice. It is appealing. All right. GBPAUD is appealing right now. Okay. It's appealing right now. It's at that zone. So what are we looking forward to see? We might see a reversal. Let me move. Okay. This is our resistance. This is our support. It got here, reversed, got here, reversed, got here, reversed. It has gotten there again. So two things we can see now. This is a very interesting zone. Two things we can see now. We can either see a reversal to this point, and you're going to know that from your candle formation. Either you see an engulfing candle, or some of these candles that I just explained, AMA, and all of that. Or it pushes up more, retests this zone, and then I've not seen a very clear break. I've not seen a clear break because something like that happened here. I've not seen, if I'm going to see a clear break, I don't want wick. I don't just want the wick of the candle to break. I want the body. If a body of the candle, especially a 4-hour candle, if it breaks a zone or a trend line, then I will know that it's broken. But the body of the candle has not broken the zone. It's only the wick. So it is dangerous for you to think that it will keep going up. Now, I'm not saying it won't go up, but let it break clearly and then retest, then buy. So on Monday, I mean this week, we are looking, my bias is more for a buy anyway, but I can't say, no, you can't say anything in Forex now. You only need to see, trade what you see. You trade what you see. All right. So now look at this. Let's look at this. How do we know that it's going to sell from here? Let's go to this point just to test our knowledge. It got to this point. We saw a rejection, a very big 4-hour candle rejection here. Is a sign that it will come down. All right. Then it got to this point. Look at, we saw an engulfing buy candle. Look at an engulfing buy candle. It's a sign that it's going to go up. Now, if you bought, it will have, you will have been in a serious red. But that doesn't mean if you bought after this, engulfing candle, you will have been on, minus 117 pips. Can you imagine? But eventually, it gave you 480 pips. That is why sometimes, if, for instance, you understand this yourself and you bought from here after seeing this engulfing candle, you bought from here. Yeah? Now you know for yourself that you need to move your stop loss below the zone. That means your stop loss, you won't have to ask anybody where should your stop loss be. You need to know that your stop loss should be somewhere here. Because if a candle breaks this stop loss, that means it has likely changed direction. That means it has broken this trend line and it's changing direction. So that means your stop loss will be here. Now it gave you that. Even though with a fight of minus 130 something pips against you. That is why lot size is very important. Your stop loss, where you are putting your stop loss should determine the kind of lot size you will use. Now it got to this point again. It gave an hammer on 4-hour on that buy candle. So it's another sign. Then it gave another sell candle here. So this one did not really give us a fight. So from here to here to this point again, boom, 354 pips. Now it has gotten to this point. I didn't see any reversal candle here. I didn't see. Yeah, it came back down. Now I can see a reversal candle, another hammer. You can see the long wick and the edge. That hammer shows like a rejection. Look at. So maybe I couldn't have taken a buy trade here because I'm not seeing any candle that is showing. I'm seeing a sell candle, that's the black, and then I'm not seeing a candle that. So, but it eventually gave me a candle that I'm looking for here. Then I buy. Boom, up again to this point. Now I can see another black engulfing candle, sell engulfing candle here, another sell, boom, down. Now it has gotten to this point again now. So I'm looking for either a candle that will show me that it's going to drop or a break and retest. All right, or a break and retest. And once I get that, what am I going to do? Buy. It's as simple. If it breaks and retests, buy. If it doesn't break, if it shows me the candle formation, maybe an engulfing candle on 4 hours, what will I do? Sell. Then I'll put my stop loss just above this zone. That's all. How will you know the value of your stop loss? By the time you move your cursor here, you can see the value 1.87618. As you are moving, it shows. Where will your TP be? Somewhere here, 1.82040. You can put your first, if it's going to be a sell low, I don't know. Your first TP can be this zone. You can see this is a reversal zone. It got a reverse, got a reverse, got a reverse. So your first TP can be around this zone, 1.84072. If it breaks that zone, you get, then it's likely going to come down to this point again. That's all. All right. So what the shorter time frame tells us is to help us to do is to get a more precise entry, more precise. So if you check 1 hour, for instance, you will get a more precise entry. Okay. Now I'm going to clear all what I've drawn and I'm going to show you how Christopher Derrick does his own analysis on 1 hour alone. His analysis on price trap is just simply called break and retest strategy. That's all he does. Break and retest, break and retest. Christopher Derrick moved $182 to 64,000 in 24 hours. The guy is a wizard in trading, and all he does basically is break and retest. Though he uses a tool called Fibonacci, it's quite an advanced tool for people that are just joining, but it's basically break and retest. So let me clear this chart now. Let me clear everything and explain how he does his own. It's a simple thing. Simple. What Christopher Derrick does. Simple. Let me show you. He just identifies points. So let's assume that. Now, this is what he will do. Now the trade is here. Where's the high? Where's the high of this trade? This is the high. You will identify the high. Boom. All right. Good. Where's the low? Somewhere here. This is another low. You can see this is a low. Boom. Why did I call it a low? It is like a the next support, because trade goes to this point and reverse back. So this is the next support. Now, what has it done? He has actually trapped price here. You can see that this is just a 1 hour trade. That's why it's called price trap. He has trapped price inside this box. What is he waiting for? He's waiting for break and retest on any direction. So what will he do? We just say either of two things will happen. Either it breaks here, retests, then he will buy. Or break here, retests, and then he will sell. That's all Christopher Derrick will do. That's all he does. All. Nothing more. Nothing more. Nothing more. Let's back test it. Let me clear this one again. Let me clear. Let's go back. Let's go back. So let's assume the trade was here. This one, boom. This is the I, right? This is the I. Then let's check the previous low. This was the previous low. Let me mark it up so that you can see what I'm looking at. Let me mark it up. This is the I. This is the I. Let's say the trade was here at that point. And then this is the previous low. Let's say the trade was here at that point. What has it done? It has trapped price. Let's assume that we can't see anything here. So it has trapped price already. So what is it waiting for? It's waiting for price to break and retest any of this zone. Do you get? So let's zoom a bit. Let's see how interesting this. I really want to congratulate those of you that came for this training. Look at, so we can't see anything here. He has trapped zone price here and here. So let's be moving gradually. Price is still within that zone. It's still within that zone. It's not going to take any action. It's still within that zone. Can you see? It's still within that zone. No action to be taken. No action to be taken. No action to be taken. It's still within that zone. It has not broken. It has not broken. It has not broken. What did you see? It has not broken well. You are waiting for a clear breakout. Let's wait. Yes, it has broken. Right? It has broken. Now, when it broke, what did you see? It broke here. What did you see? It retested. Can you see the retest? It retested. It broke. You can see two candles broke. Then you can see the buy candle retest. Can you see that? It broke, then a retest. After the retest, you now saw another sell candle below that line. At that point, I'm going to sell. That's all. Let's look at what will have happened next. You know, I didn't even see, the future, but let's see what will have happened next. Boom. Let's see. It broke again, another retest. If you miss this one, probably you shouldn't miss this one. It broke, retested again, shows you a sell candle. So let's continue. Let's continue. Let's see if it eventually sell. Let me minimize a bit. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. This thing is testing patience. It's testing patience. But let's see. Let's see. Let's see. However, his strategy said first TP is 30 pips. So even if you are looking for 30 pips, let me see. From year to year, it's already 147 pips. So we are even thinking that it's not much. 30 pips is just, in fact, we'll have gotten the 30 pips almost immediately. This is 30 pips, just little. Then he says you can now trade it. This is 163 pips already. You will have gotten it. You will have gotten it. Look at. Look at. Now, let me clear this again. Let me clear this again. Let me clear this again. Look at. Now, let's say that we saw price here again. This is the highest point. This is the highest point. So this was the highest point, right? And this was the previous lowest point. Now, he has trapped price here again at this point. Now, what happened? Price broke. What are you waiting for? A retest. It retested again. What did you see? Boom. You'll have gotten your 30 pips immediately. Look at. This is 172 pips. Very simple. That's what it does. Let me clear again. Let me clear again. And let's look for another one. Okay. We've already gotten to the last point. Gotten to the last point. We got to the last point. So let's say price was here. Boom. The lowest point. Boom. All right. So at this point, it broke, but we didn't get a retest. At that point, we just leave the trade. We just leave the trade. Do you get? That's a missed trade. That's a missed trade. So now that the trade is here, now look at highest points, previous high, right? Then previous low. Now price is trapped. What are we waiting for? Break and retest for a buy or break and retest for a sell. All right, so we've done 3 charts today. I hope you understand Christopher Derrick's strategy. So now the good thing about Christopher Derrick is that he would have done all of this for you. He would have done, so you don't need to mark up the charts. He would have done all of this for you. Let me show you how it's going to look like on Christopher Derrick's page on the price trap. You will see something like this. He will mark up this place. He will mark it up for you. All you have to do is just to see what he has done. Very simple. He will mark this point for you. Okay. Then he will also mark this point for you. It's not going to tell you buy or sell. It's not going to give you that. Okay, everybody buy or sell. No, you're just going to see the chart. It's going to mark it up for you. Then it's going to show you the arrow. It will tell you this. You just see an arrow that looks like this. Good. And then you see an arrow that looks like this. That's all. That's all it will do. So it will leave some instructions there. It will write some things there that for a buy, wait for a break and retest. And then, you can go ahead. For a sell, wait for a break and retest. And then you can go ahead. Okay. So those are the instructions. So let us do one more chart. One more chart. Anyone? AUDCHF. Okay, that will be the last one for today. So let's do this. I'm also expecting gold to drop seriously. I'm expecting gold to drop seriously today. I mean, this week. AUDCHF. All right. So let's go to daily and check what is happening on daily. Okay, let me clear. All right. So first, let's identify our support and resistance on daily. All right. So I'm going to put a line. This is a resistance. Because of this, it got to this point reversed, right? This is support, right? This is a resistance because of this, right? This is support. Okay. So that's the latest one. So that means that price is within this zone, support and resistance is within this zone. So what are we expecting to see on a daily time frame? We're expecting either of two things based on price trap method now. Break, retest, boom. Or though I'm expecting this present buy to get to this point, or it gets to those points and then it reverses because it's a resistance zone. So you can move up to this point and reverse. All right. And when it reverses, when it gets to those points, two things can happen. It gets to this point, it can reverse, go back, or it can break, right? Retests and drop. So can you see the possibilities now? I think I've given like 4 possibilities. Now that is here, I'm expecting the buy to continue to this point. Once it gets to this point, it's either it reverses or it breaks, retest, and keep going up to the next resistance zone. All right, or when it gets to this point, it reverses. And when it reverses to this point, you could go back up or break, retest, and keep selling. Okay, so let's look at 4 hours. Okay, So this is a 4-hour trade. Now, what are you seeing that is happening here? What can you see? This is what I can see. This line is a resistance line because this trade got to this point and reversed. So look at, can you see? It got to this point, reversed. It got to this point, reversed. Now the trade has broken this resistance line. So now it's coming back down to do what? To come and retest where it has been coming from. And what happens next? You look for a buy here. So if you want to buy, don't buy now. Buy until that retest is done. Wait for that retest to be done and see a sign that it will go on buy. Then before you buy, you now buy to this point. So if you're going to buy AUDCHF at this point, we are looking at about 70 pips, but you can't buy now. If you are just seeing it, wait for it to get to this point to retest. Just this Christopher Derrick's method, do this on 4 hours. All right, but it could have been the same on 1 hour. Let's go to 1 hour and see. All right, so look at 1 hour. Previous high. Can you see what I just explained to you? Previous high. All right, and then of course previous low on 1 hour. Let me clear all these ones. Let me clear all these ones so that you can see properly. Let me clear again, clear again, clear again, clear again, clear again. So this is your previous high, and then this is your previous low. All right, this is the high. Look at it. That's the high here, and that's the low here. So now we've trapped price in this zone. So price moved from here, and here what happened? It now broke this zone. Now that it has broken this zone, what are we expecting? We are expecting it to come and retest. Then after retest, what happens? To go up. So we're going to wait for it to drop down a bit. Markets will open in the next 25 minutes to drop down a bit. Once it drops down, once you see that reversal pattern that is ready to go up through candle formation, whether an engulfing candle, you'll likely see an engulfing candle, candle of the same size, or hammer. All right, once you see that, that's a sign that it's ready to go up. Then what will happen? You buy, and then your profits, take profit will be, I'm trying to, your take profit will be this next high. Look at the next high. That's the next high. This high. Or even first, you can even come down a bit to this high. This first one, and you can see that it got to this point, reversed, got to this point, reversed, got to this point, reversed, got to this point, reversed. So after the retest, can get to this point. So we don't have to go for the highest. Let's go for this because this one is more major. A lot of reversal happened there. It got to this point, reversed, go to this point, reversed, go to this point. About 5 times now it has happened. So it's likely to happen again here. So that means you will take your buy from here to here, about 50 pips. Though this is saying 53 pips, but you can go for 50 pips. And then your stop loss will be, somewhere here. Somewhere. Normally, Christopher Derrick will say you should use 30 pip stop loss. So you can use 30 pip stop loss on all trades of price trap, on all price trap trades. All right, 30 pips stop loss, and your first take profit is also 30 pips. That's Christopher Derrick style. All right, so that's what we are expecting on the AUDCHF. AUDCHF is I'm expecting a buy. All right, but before I can buy AUDCHF, I'm expecting it to come down more. All right, then I buy, and then when I buy, this is my zone. This is the zone that I'm looking at. All right. Can you see how simple this is? No, it's not complex. It's just plain market charts. All right. I hope you are all excited about next week. I hope you are all set. You're happy to know this. You know what I'm teaching you, like I said, took me months, years to learn. Now you have an idea of how I do my analysis. Does the reversal has effect on currency strength meter? Yes, it does. Currency strength meter is an indication of, what has happened in the previous candle. Most time, currency strength meter doesn't really tell the future. How the currency strength meter algorithm, this is the way it works. If currency strength meter sees that AUDCHF is dropping, is selling, currency strength meters would say that, okay, it seems that AUD is actually weak. That's why UDCHF is selling. So to make AUD weak and CHF strong. So it's an indication of past occurrences, not an indication of the future occurrence. That is why sometimes you will see GBP weak right now, and in the next 1 hour, it will become the strongest. It only tells you what has happened, not what will happen. So don't make that mistake. However, what has happened also can have effect on what will happen. So for instance, if you check it, currency strength meter for this, for instance, it can tell you because of this serious sell that is happening now. If you look at it on 1 hour, let's check on 1 hour. It's like a serious sell that is happening right now. So currency strength meter can tell you that AUD is weak because we are doing AUD CHF. It can tell you that AUD is weak. That is why it's selling. But by the time it gets to this point, if it picks up again and starts buying, currency strength meter will change things. So you just see that AUD just becomes strong. All right. So what I mean now is that what has happened in the past can also tell of the future a bit, but everything is still based on price structure, just the way I've explained. So the past that is saying sell can help the future, but that future is just between here and here, just between where it is right now and this point, unless it breaks. It's as simple as that. All right. Another thing that you can see here from here is a trend line. Look at, can you see that trend line? Can you see the trend line? So sometimes you really need to feed your eyes. Train your eyes to see all these things. Can you see the trend line that I just saw? What did you see? It entered, sold, bought, sold, bought, sold, then it bought. Now that it broke that trend line, what did you see? This sell candle was a retest. Came to retest here, and then boom, buy. Now it has broken this one again. What's it going to do? Retest. The next buy. All right. But after the retest, I saw a buy candle before I bought. So when this retest happens, please wait to see a buy candle, because that buy candle is an assurance that the retest is over and is ready to buy. Because this retest, sometimes it will just retest and it won't stop and it will keep going down. So once it gets to this point, this is the point where we are expecting the sell to be done. Get a confirmation candle, a buy candle. That's why we look for confirmation candle on Harmony scanner. On 1 hour, we wait for a buy or we wait for a sell. So once it gets to this point, the next thing you are looking for is a confirmation candle, a buy candle, all right, that shows you that, okay, the retest is actually done. It's ready to pick up. All right. Don't just, at this point, don't just say, I'm buying straight. It can keep dropping down sometimes, but most of the time it reverses. But that sometimes can have a serious effect in your account. So you need to be watchful. All right. Should we consider the week when drawing the zones? Yes, you can look at the week when drawing the zones. However, if the body of the candle hasn't broken the zone, then you are still, I mean, it is still believed that you are still in the zone. For you to be able to say boldly that you are outside the zone, then the body, look at this one now. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Then the body of the candle actually broke the zone. Okay, it actually broke the zone. So that means it is ready. And you can see how massive that candle was. It's pushed hard. All right. So sometimes candle that breaks zones are very strong because it takes strength, it takes effort. For you can imagine if you are in a building and you want to break a resistance. Sometimes it takes, it's not even sometimes, most of the time it takes strength, it takes effort, it takes force. That is why you see this massive candle that broke that zone. And then a retest happens like, I've actually stressed myself to break this zone. Let me come and rest a bit before I pick up. All right. So by the time now, this line was serving as a resistance. Can you imagine? It was serving as a resistance. By the time he broke that resistance, this line now became a new support. So he broke this line and he came back to the support to come and sleep a bit. Like, I have stressed myself. Let me come and rest a bit. So he rested on this new support now. That was a former resistance. And then after resting, he said, now I think I have the strength and courage to move on. Now it has moved on. Now you can see this buy candle again. It's a massive candle. It shows you that it has broken another resistance. This is a resistance because trade got to this point and reversed. So it's a resistance. So it pushed hard again. Now it's coming back to come and rest on this new support. It used to be a resistance here. It was a resistance here. Now it has broken the resistance. Now it's now a new support. So it's coming back to come and rest on the floor before it can gather strength again to keep moving. That resting is called the retest. Okay. I think I've answered all questions. Okay, Obaloluwa. All right. Yeah, I'm recording this session, so I'm going to upload it on my YouTube channel. It might not be today, but today, tomorrow, I'm going to upload it. Then I will share the link on the group so that you can rewatch on my YouTube channel. Any other question? Do you think that this class is insightful? Do you think you gained value, really? I will share the link. Don't worry. I will share the link after. Just ensure that you subscribe to my channel so that if I post information, you will get notified. Basically, what I do on my channel for now is on Forex. So induction class, a lot of trainings are already there. Okay, so by the time I share the link, you will see the channel and then you can subscribe. You can watch previous videos as well. All right. Okay, cool. For those that are joining us recently, please, I want to keep emphasizing this, please. You have an edge right now I want to talk about, the fact that you don't need to pay for your next month's subscription if you're just joining us. IML says that if two persons join you in this business before your 1 month expires, you're going to get the next month free of charge instead of paying about 65,000. Subscription is about 65,000 naira. All right, you can avoid that by inviting two people to join you. All right. Now, the easiest way. Now, why is it why can you be assured that the person you're bringing in can start making money immediately? Because that's a selling point. That's what people want to know. How will I start making money immediately? Now, a trading session, live trading session happens every day, 9 to 10 a.m. every day. All right. So that shows you that that person can join you right now. And in the next 2 or 3 days, it can start making money. Though you don't encourage live trading immediately. Let the person demo first. It's your responsibility to teach the person how to enter a trade now that you know. All right. So for now, what the person should do is to follow the 90 trade plan that is starting tomorrow. All right. So get your people involved. Pa, 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 fast. It's easy. I mean, it's an easy sell right now. Like, I will be more encouraged if you invite me to something and you tell me that I will start trading the next day. Like live trading. I don't need to stress myself. All I need to do is just to listen and pick the trades that are being called. All you need to do is to share the rules with me. What are the rules? Um, what should I fund my account with? What is the lot size? It will be your responsibility to tell me that you're inviting the rules. And once it's time, all you need to do is to, ensure that the person gets into the Profit Arcade Telegram group. All right. If it is delaying, all you need to do is to share the link with that your friend. All right. And tell your friend, join this meeting right now. And by the time the person joins the meeting, you can be sure that the person will start making money that same day. That same day. So you really do not have any excuse now. All right. So please, please, please get your people involved. Get your two and free. Even if you can't do the IBO, the IBO says that if 12 people are in your team, you start earning $600 a month. If 30 people are in your team, you start earning $1,000 a month. If 75 people are in your team, you start earning $2,000 a month. And it goes on and on and on and on like that. I keep talking about my friend Bryce. Bryce is 23 years old and is a chairman 250. That means it's $250,000 a month. For people that are interested in IBO, there's a group for people that are interested in IBO. All right. So if you're interested, please, all you need to do is just to send me the word IBO. Don't say more than that so that I won't be confused. Just say IBO. I will add you to the IBO group. The IBO group are for people that want to be a platinum 1000 in the next 30 days. We share ideas and all of that. Some people are having a training session this week. You organize events. You can invite me to come for your events. If you can organize events of 100 people, 200 people, invite me. I will come, but you have to inform me on time so that we can do the planning together, so that we can do all of that. I will come, we'll do, an event there, a training session there. They might not even know that, all you have to do is just to organize. You don't have to even do the talking. If you feel like you can't do the talking, we'll do the talking, we do the, everything that needs to be done, and then we'll try to bring them on board. And by the time they come on board, it's not like they're going to stress you. The only thing you need to do is just to teach them. Be like a mentor to them, just like I'm doing to you. All right. You can create your own WhatsApp group. You can, like I said, I started my WhatsApp group just 3 weeks after I joined IML. My own personal group, because people were joining me. I started mentoring them, even at that young age, your young time of me starting this, opportunities, a life-changing opportunity, really. All right. So that's what I really want you to do. So if you're interested in that part of business, the IBO part, you understand how it works. The goal is that everybody in the IBO should be a platinum 1000 at least in the next 30 days. That's $1,000. That is whether you trade or not. And for you to do that, you only need 30 people. And that 30 doesn't really have to come directly from you. Probably you have 12 and that 12 decides to do what you've done. As long as it's 30, you never can tell where you will be until you start. You never can tell. Mr. Francis is a chairman 25 right now, earning $25,000 a month. Mr. Francis now, with Mr. Mayowa in the training. Mr. Francis is a chairman 25. Mr. Mayowa is a chairman 10. So it means that you can do everything together. So Mr. Mayowa is earning $10,000 a month. That's about 3.6 million. And apart from that, as a chairman, they have, bonuses that they get because they've gotten to the chairman rank. They have bonuses. So um, these are the people that earn aside trading, whether they trade or not. And some of them, you can move this IBO money into your trading account again and start growing it. That's the way it works. It works together. So I will encourage you all, if you're listening to me right now, be be involved. In this IBO thing, we can work together. We can do it together. All you need to do, share your idea with me. Let's work together. If you're interested, I can do a one-on-one meeting with you. That's if you are serious. I don't want you to, I can't do a one-on-one meeting with you if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a tangible plan, a serious plan, how you plan to achieve it. All right. Once you have a serious plan on how to achieve it, we can do a one-on-one meeting together to strategize how it can be done in few days from now, as in few days. There's no time. All right. And once you achieve that, that's a good fit for you. You're doing well, you're earning in both ways. Whether you trade or not, that money will come. It comes every week, every Friday, you earn. All right. And if you've been involved and you are relaxed a bit, I think it's time for you to move on. It's easier right now. It's easier. It's easier. People can join you right now, and tomorrow they start trading, as in they start connecting to the live trading account. They are encouraged. You are not the one even doing the stress again. Mr. Mayowa, Mr. Francis, and Kwa, the ones involved, they are the ones that will be doing the motivation. They are the ones that will be doing everything. All you need to do is to do the invitation. All right. Unfortunately, the classes are no longer free again. You need to subscribe to have access to the class. If to say it were free, it will, if to say it was still free, all you need to do is just to send the link to those people you want to invite. Let them just join. By the time they see what is happening in that group for 2 or 3 days, you don't even need to do any talking again. All you need to do is just, guys, download Zoom. I want you to, attend a live trade session and see for yourself how we are making money. And by the time they join, 2 days, even if you don't talk, they will come and meet you. Guy, how far now? I want to do this thing now. Do you get? But unfortunately, I think that opportunity is closed right now. Now it's for subscribers, not for every other person. Some people use that opportunity to get a lot of people to join their team. All right. So please take advantage of that. Get people involved today. They are joining the live session tomorrow. They are encouraged. They are seeing it themselves. It is easy. It is easy. Easily sellable. All right. Good. So let me look at the questions that I have. Please, I want to get something. I'm only scanner use 1 hour candle majorly. We use about 4 time frames on vibrator. How many time frame do we use for this? Or what's the major time frame? All time frame. Basically, daily time frame will tell you the major trend, where it is going, what is really going. That's when you will see an overview. 4 hours will also tell you the major trend. Then you can use your 1 hour to enter the trade. So here I use daily 4 hour and basically 1 hour. All right. That's all. Sometimes I even use 15 minutes, but basically daily 4 hour and 1 hour. I use my 1 hour for entry. So my 1 hour, if I see a bullish engulfing, if I see hammer, if I see, all this, sometimes I'm very bad with names of, but when I see those candles, I know that this is a reversal candle. But sometimes I don't know those names, evening star, morning star, sometimes it still confuses me. But when I see reversal candle, I have an idea of how a reversal candle looks like. All right. So good. I've been trying to join the PATG group since the lady in charge isn't responding. I have sent the mail. I hope I wouldn't miss tomorrow's trading. Please keep pressurizing the person. Keep pressurizing the person. For people that are in the Millionaire Academy, you are listening to me and you are in PATG, please, for now, at least for this 1 week, some people are just joining us. They've not been able to access PATG. Please share the link in the group, I beg, because it is not, normally it shouldn't be allowed, because it should be only for people that are in that group because you are subscribed. A lot of people in our group, Millionaire Academy, some of them are not subscribed yet. But for this first week that is starting, if you're in PATG, please share. I'm also having the challenge of entering that group right now. I'm not an admin. I'm just like every other person, just like you. So The admin doesn't really know me like that. You get, we've seen once or twice, but the way you will apply is the same way I will also apply to be there, to be in the group. So for this first week, if you're in PATG group, please share the link so that the few ones that are really, that are qualified and they've not joined the group can join. So meanwhile, this week, please let's sort it out and get into the group. All right. So this week, are we starting our internet trading or we are following PATG? Well, I am of the opinion, because so many things. I'm of the opinion that we should just follow PATG. I don't want. We can do our group inside trade, but I would prefer to do that as signal. I'll just give signals once a while. Buy limit, sell limit, buy this, sell this. All right. But please, if I give you signal, I beg you in the name of God, proper risk management is involved. Proper risk management. Divide your account balance by 10,000. Your account balance in dollars by 10,000. That's when you know the lot size to use if I give trade signal. So for now, let me work by giving trade signals. For now, I will try to be giving signals every day. And then the goal is that at the end of the week, you end up in very good profit from my signals. You end up in very good profit. After a while, that signal will not be free again. It will only be for active people. So for those people that haven't subscribed, probably it's going to end this week if I give signals this week. And then, after this week, it might not be free again, just like PATG. If you're not active, you might not likely get my signals. You might likely create another group for the signals. It's going to be TMA signals, TMA trade room. That's the Millionaire Academy trade room, only for signal. There's no training here, no training, just signals alone. All right. So I think we should just follow PATG group. We already have the only thing we can do in our group is that we can discuss those trades. We can do our own analysis and look at those trades together. Okay, now that you have an idea of how to do charts, how to analyze charts yourself. All right, so probably at the end of the week, every week, we look at the trades PATG group have called. All right, and then we analyze them together. We see how we can better, or we can be doing it on a daily basis. It all depends on the need. Okay, so all you have to do, if you've been doing our own trade plan before, you can just continue, just flow with it. We don't need to really, some people are saying that we should keep doing our internal trade, but yes, I think we can. We can. The harmonic scanner thing, I think we should really. I think we should. So okay, so let me work with a plan for the harmonic scanner. I think so. Probably for this week, I will just mention about 4 persons in this group. How many people here for this week you think that you'll be able to help handle harmonic scanner trade for the week? Yeah, in this group. How many people? I think Mr. Komashe should be able to help this week. Mr. Obaloluwa, I hope your subscription is active. That's one of the challenges I've been having with that. Already have timetable, and I'll just call the people that should be in charge, and then they will tell me that they are not active. It's quite discouraging. So how many people are active right now that you can help? Okay, if you've been in the mentorship group for a while and you should be admitted, the only question I will ask you is that we wrote down some things that you need to do. The videos, the everything, the IML Academy, the basics. If you've done that, then chat me up. Just type in ready. Just type in ready. Then I'm going to ask you some questions based on that, on those things. If you fail those questions, that means you're not ready to get into the mentorship group. That means you're not prepared. Mentorship group, I also want to see your demo account, what you've traded so far, your demo account.
All right, I want to see that. It's part of what I want to see. Okay. Then if everything aligns, then you'll get into the mentorship, to the Millionaire Academy, right? Mr. Komashe, will you be able to help with my money scanner this week? We'll need to get people to assist you. We can sort that one out in the group. I guess you're active. Will you? All right then. I'm not getting any response yet. This is 10 o'clock, so I think we need to call it a day. I was actually thinking of looking at gold trade with you, which you will. No, they can't. It's not, and that's not allowed. No, you can't give out login details. You should you should be active. There's no reason why you shouldn't be active. See, let me tell you how it has been done before. In our group, every week we remove inactive people. Every week we remove inactive people from the Millionaire Academy. We've just been lenient for some reasons. And the major reason why market is open already, the major reason why we've been lenient is because there was a particular time where a lot of people had some losses. We were following a trade pattern, and a loss appeared or loss happened. And unfortunately, that loss was not really okay for a lot of people, and because of that loss, we felt like, okay, let's encourage people so that they can trade more and build their account more. So we don't want to remove anybody. We've not removed anybody for like 2 months. I think that is what is making a lot of people, lackadaisical about getting, subscribing, resubscribing. Okay, the Millionaire Academy group is not actually meant for people that are not active. So the fact that you're getting it is a privilege, and then it's not going to last for long. It's not going to last for long. All right. By end of October 31st, that would likely end. Starting from November, if you're not active, you'll be removed. All right. Bill Granville, one of the IML guys, IML TV is live now. So I will share the link with you. You can join if you're active. If you're active, you can. The guy is one of the instructors I love a lot. Okay, so let me quickly look at gold. If you don't know, gold is XAUUSD. Okay. Gold is expected to drop more. So look at daily time frame. That will be the last analysis for today. Let me clear. Look at, it has gotten to highest high. This point, that's the highest point. If you look at, let me see. I can't remember the last time it got to that high. Let me check. It got to that high 2013. 2013. That was when gold got to that price. All right. So, but right now, so if you look at it properly, let's look at monthly time frame again. If you look at it, you might not understand Fibonacci, but let me draw a Fibonacci retracement. This movement down is actually from here to here, is actually the main movement. This is just like a flag, a retest. So this retest has been happening since 2015. Okay. Now that this huge movement has happened, it retested, for 3 years. Now I'm expecting it to keep coming back. So from here, what did I do? It's not Fibonacci. Fibonacci retracement. Okay. So from here to here. So that got into around that 61.8 region. So what I'm expecting right now is, let's go back to daily. What I'm expecting right now is basically a break and retest. So look at this. This is the lowest, this the previous low. Here's the high. So two things I'm expecting to see. All right. Either it breaks here, it tests, and then I sell. That's my second option. But what I really would have preferred is for it to go back to where it's coming from. Go back to this point. And then from this point, I'll sell more profits. So once it gets to this point, I'll sell. See, if it gets to this point, even if you don't have money in your account, in your trading account, go and look for that money. It's going to drop from this point. I would have preferred it for it to retrace back so that I can get it sell from top here. But if not, if it breaks this point, it retests, then going down. So my first TP will be this level. This level. I might not even go to that level. I might fall for go to this level. You see, I might fall for go to this level, and that is huge peep. So if it can go up to this point, look at 1,153 pips. 1,153 pips. If it can go up, then if it comes down and retests, then I take it from here to this point. That's from here to this point. That's 300 and, am I saying 330 or 3,000? 318 pips. So it's huge. It's huge. Gold gives, serious number of pips, and it can blow accounts if you are not careful, because if it goes against you, you can imagine a trade going against you 300 pips. You get so that's it. That's what I'm looking at, right? For gold. So gold is expected to keep dropping this week. But like I said, I would have preferred it to go up to where it's coming from so I can get a sell. Or if it won't, then I'll wait for it to break this lowest point. Like I have trapped price. This is my price trap now. This and this is my price trap. So my price is in between these zones now, these two zones. So if that gets here, I sell, or break retest, then I sell. I'll look to take my profit here for now. All right. And if it breaks, then we can move here. Then we can move here. All right. So that's what we're looking at. Gold should keep selling this week. All right. Is the figure? Yeah. So if you look at GBP/JPY, for instance, from here to here, I'm not sure it's divided though. I'm not sure. From here to here on GBP/JPY is 800 pips. This is a daily time frame. It's not divided though. That's a serious number of people. Let's go back to XAUSD. If we can go back up for us, high, and we take the sell from here. Yeah, we just put our stop loss somewhere here. So we are risking stop loss enough for we are risking 1,659 pips to get. In fact, if we take it from here to this point, last song gone to where it is right now, that's 7,620 pips. 7,620 pips. And if it comes to this point, 11,619 pips. You can imagine me using one standard lot there. If I use one standard lot, to buy padà, if you can get to this point, and I use one standard lot and I just take it to this point, at the end of the trade, I'll be having $75,000 at the end of that trade. $75,000 or more. Even if I use 0.1, that would be $7,000. Even if you use 0.01, the lowest, you will have $754. This is huge. I'm just praying that it goes back. I'm praying. My desire is for it to go back to this point. That's my desire. If it goes back to that point or more, gold will suffer. If you can go back to this point, gold will suffer. It will give more pips rather than just going down, breaking and retesting. Do you get? All right. Some people have been with me since we started, though. You deserve an accolade. You've been with me since we started. That's nice. We started this class 8 o'clock, right? Past 8. And this is past 10. Almost 2 hours. I think we need to go now. Market is open. So you can see GBP, JPY. We are expecting a pullback to this point before buying. Let's look at Euro USD again. Euro USD, we are expecting a retest. It has broken this zone. We're expecting a retest down before buying. GBP AUD, okay. We don't know yet. It looks as if it's going to come down to this point, but market is just opening, so don't be deceived. Whenever market is opening, it's not very settled. So I don't know if it eventually come or break and retest. All right, so let's still hold on for that, but it's looking as if it's going to come down. We have already trapped price anyway, trapped price. So I think it is not advisable for us to take any action inside this zone. Inside this zone for GBP AUD, don't take any action. So it's either you wait for it to break and retest up, or you wait for it to break and retest down. Once it's inside this zone like it is now, don't take any action. AUD CHF is coming down. We want it to get to those points. All right. It has just about 10 pips to go down. All right, 10 pips to go down. Once it gets to this point, we want to see a sign to go up. So on a 1 hour candle, we want to see a bullish engulfing on a 1 hour, or AMA, or whatever name it's called. All right. Or you want to see a buy candle that will be the same size as the sell candle, something like that. That's a sign that it's ready to go back up. So from here, we are taking it to 0.682 zone. And then for UDCHF, we are looking at getting about 50 pips there on a buy. And the next USD gold, the last one that we've analyzed today, we are expecting it to break this zone and retest. Then we can keep selling down, or it goes back up to where it's coming from, and then we sell. This one is going to be huge. So those are the 5 trades we've looked at today. In Forex, you don't have to trade all currency pairs. You just need to, do the one that will make more sense. But for GBP, I'm still expecting a buy to happen this week. For GBP JPY, I'm expecting a buy to keep happening, but I want that retest to happen first before I buy. GBP AUD, I'm expecting that it will eventually break this structure and also retest, and then we keep buying. All right. So I think you understand a little bit on how market structure works right now. It is not difficult at all. All right. Finally, let me accommodate just one more question, then we close. In the next 20 seconds, if I don't get any question, then I'll close. Time starts now. 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful night rest. It's better you use your system to analyze. It's easier, or you download Trading View on your phone. You can download the app Trading View on your phone. It also comes as an app. You can look at the trade there. All right, thank you. And yeah, once I post it on YouTube, you'll get the link. It takes time for it to get, because the video is quite heavy. All right, thank you very much. Have a wonderful night rest, and then prepare for next week. It's going to be awesome by God's grace. Have a wonderful night rest. Bye.